Hello, today I would like to draw our attention on one crucial and essential aspect of leadership, which is development. And I mean the development of the co-worker, which is in the end the leader's job. Development means that co-workers get new tasks, so they get tasks which they did not have before. And what is very important when I give a new task to a co-worker is, of course, to look at his competences, his capacities. Is he or she already able to deal with that task, yes or no? If I say it is a new task, so the question might be very near to say, no, he has not yet the right competences and qualifications to do that task. So I have to prepare my co-worker for the new task. And please do not only focus on his strengths and weaknesses in terms of competences, but you should also focus on his motivation and his self-confidence to deal with that task. So it is important that I reach at the beginning of giving the new task to a co-worker to get his, let's say, commitment, that he says at least, okay, yes, I want to. Of course, better is if he shows really a good and high motivation. And I can use that motivation like an engine to deal with that new task. So at the beginning, if I reach this stage of high motivation, the co-worker just wants to know, how do I have to do that? How to do it? Why? Where do I get resources, information? So I have to be very close to my co-worker and explain how to deal with a new task. Which is, let's say, more or less normal, is that after a more or less short period of time, the motivation and the self-confidence, which was at the beginning very high, falls down. It's a kind of, we can call frustration, or the self-confidence gets less. That's very typical at the beginning of a new task, because then the co-worker gets aware that, oh, maybe it is not as easy as he or she thought it would be. Maybe he has to face some challenges, difficulties. So still I have to be very close, and now my focus should be still on to explain how to do and why to do, but also at the same time to, let's say, push his motivation again, to give him the information, what is happening to you right now, that your motivation falls down, is normal and typical, but I am here to support you. So to get my co-worker out of this stage of frustration and to help him to learn more and more, to reach the next stage, and there it is typical that the competence already has raised quite a lot, but the motivation runs through waves, so it goes up and down. One day I can observe my co-worker and he's very motivated and self-confident, and maybe next day or next week, same task, same topic, suddenly I have the impression that motivation has fallen down. So that is the stage where competence is already quite high, but I still have to be close, let's say, in those stages of low motivation. And what I do there is a kind of coaching. So having already a good competence in that person, I just have to ask the right questions. So, like for example, what have you done last week which was successful? What has changed to this week? Could you apply something that you have done last week for this situation right now? Questions like that. So it's not that much explaining how to do, because he or she already knows. It's more working on the self-confidence. And then finally reach the last phase or stage, which we all want to reach in development of our co-workers, is the one where both competence and motivation is on a high and solid level. And that's the situation then where I can really delegate. So the task, which was at the beginning a new one, has now become, through those stages, a very familiar and well-known task, and the co-worker really feels confident and self-confident in dealing with that task.